the evacuation of Nigerians out of Sudan because of the fighting there. And we have joining us to look at the story from the papers, and then we'll delve into our conversation. Global Affairs Analyst Chuks Nwoko. Chuks, it's good to see you. Good to have you on the show again.
Good to see you too. In a while.
Good to see you.
Right.
Morning.
Good morning.
Now, this fighting has been ongoing for the past 2 weeks, and the Nigerian government is looking to evacuate Nigerians out of there because from the reports that we were getting, we have about 3,500 students in Sudan, and the government had initially said that they will begin evacuation yesterday, Tuesday, but they had come out to say that logistics hiccup and all of that hampered that, and so they will begin today. But there has been this agitation from Nigerians on social media and those students who are there. And some of them have planned to even find options by themselves. But the government is saying, you know what, we do not want any of you to try that. We have already put out 40 buses that will pick about 2,400 of you. We have released 150 million naira. Now, the sense of urgency with which we're addressing this is a major concern for a lot of Nigerians. If you go on Twitter, there's been so much conversation with regards to this, how some persons are even lambasting the government. What do you see with regards to how we are handling this matter, especially the sense of urgency that we are giving it?
I think that every time we have a situation like this, whether it's in Sudan or elsewhere, we're never prepared. We don't have that urgency in wanting to help our people. And so that's what is playing out. I think that more effort should be made. I think the aircraft should be sent to the place, or to Djibouti or to Egypt, as other nations have done, and make a local arrangement to take these people. Sudan is a very large state, and to take our people to these locations and do what other nations are doing. These things sometimes it might be difficult, but you can emulate, you can imitate, you can plan with other people. I think that it's very sad that our people who are in Africa, Sudan is in Africa. I don't know why I'm not in government and all that, but I know that logistics is something that in the past we've not been able to handle very adequately. I'm disappointed that we are not the first to remove our people from that place. I'm completely disappointed. And I think that today, because of the escalation that is going on right now as we speak, those students and other Nigerians who are doing business or who are there for whatever reason should be removed from the place. Because, other countries have made effort. Why can't we do it? What is the problem? I don't understand what the problem is. I actually don't know. We have the resources. We have people in government. Put somebody in, give somebody the task to execute this thing and hold them accountable. Our people must be evacuated from that place today. Today. It has to be today, because of what is going on in Sudan is not something to play around with. And other nations have recognized that and done the right thing. Right. Buses, we need buses. We also need aircraft.
They have said we have 40 buses on the ground.
Yeah.
So
hire aircraft. They are private enterprises. They are foreign business people who have aircrafts. Take your people. That's how it's done. You must be agile. You must be fast. You must be passionate about things like this. This is how you show citizens that they are citizens of your country and you are a leader.
All right. Talking about hiring aircraft, in fact, the chairman of Air Peace has come out to say that he will deploy some of his aircraft to evacuate Nigerians from there free of charge. He has done it before in South Africa when there was the xenophobia against Nigerians. He had also offered to help when some Nigerian students were stranded in Ukraine when the issue started, the war started between Russia and Ukraine. Now he's offering again, saying that he's available and he's ready to deploy aircrafts to either Egypt or Djibouti or Ethiopia,
or Kenya,
whichever country that there's clearance for him that he would deploy. Now, speak to us from that window. someone has said that Nigerians originally don't have problems with helping each other and coming to the rescue. Sometimes the challenge is government having to coordinate these people. We've also had the statement from the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs that they are working out the possibility of hiring some aircrafts to evacuate Nigerians. Meanwhile, there's a Nigerian offering to do that free of charge.
Exactly. You see, that's where government irresponsibility bothers me. This man who manages airpeace, who owns airpeace, he's done this thing before.
Alan Onyema.
Yes. What a responsible institution would do is to call him. He's done it before. And call him. I'm not even aware that he has volunteered to do this.
Yeah, he has.
Call him. We will pay you and all that. Then it will be his responsibility to say, look, you don't need to pay me. These are my brothers and my sisters.
Yeah.
Just do the clearance for me at governmental level. Because even as he has the aircraft, there are things he cannot do.
Yeah.
Get the clearance from him. Place a call with these people who are doing this stuff. That want to come and remove our people from that location. And you know, Sudan is just sitting on top of Nigeria. People from Britain, from Italy, from Spain, from the United States, they've come to that place to remove their people. So it's appalling, it's very irritating, it's annoying that we're talking about removing our people almost 2 weeks after this conflict started. And as I speak to you, I am worried because of the escalation and of what's going on this morning. I think that man should be encouraged. Whatever needs to be done to get him clearance, to go to Egypt, to get to Djibouti, wherever, Kenya, make it easier for him by taking these people to these ports and all that, so that he can bring them back to us. You know, I think that government needs to live up to it, and it just shows how that we have people in government probably who don't even know what's going on until it's too late, because by the 16th, 17th, you're supposed to have done this and set an example. Because of proximity that we share with Sudan. Sudan is just sitting, you know, almost sitting on top of where we share a boundary with them. So I think that government should have done better. But today is not too late to get this thing done, because it's not really looking good.
Because of the ceasefire that both factions had agreed to.
Yeah, the ceasefire was negotiated for a purpose.
Yeah. To evacuate people.
Yes, we belong to the same African Union. We should have contact. You know, we share very close relationship with these people by the fact that we are in the same African Union. I think that there's something wrong somewhere. Somebody is not paying attention. Maybe the agencies or institutions don't know what their responsibilities are. Maybe External Affairs Ministry or Internal Affairs Ministry. I don't know what the problem is. But it's just a normal occurrence that you have, that when something is going on, even locally here, you find it difficult getting the government. Then you start explaining, you know, we're making an arrangement. What arrangement are you making?
Well, the Minister of Foreign Affairs had been on this issue. He has addressed the press several times, talking about the fact that they are trying to see where Nigerians can be safer, you know, when they talk about the routes to which they will evacuate people. Recall that there were aircrafts and the airports were burnt and destroyed. So flights couldn't go into Sudan. So they had to evacuate Nigerians to neighboring countries before they can be airlifted back. And it requires diplomatic, because the issue there is, there was a Nigerian that was blocked, some few Nigerian students that were blocked in Ethiopia because they didn't have the Ethiopian visa to be there. And this is talking about the issue of self-evacuation that she mentioned earlier on. So I think the ministry said they've been doing everything they can. I believe some of these things can be a little more challenging than one sees them.
Mike, doing whatever they can. What are they doing? At that level, I mean, you might be strenuous and all that, but you have to do something and let us see the result. It's not you addressing the press and giving this explanation. We want to know what has gone on. These things involve phone call. These things involve contacting your officials in those governments, giving them responsibility.
But he said he did. He did to Egypt.
Yeah, but we haven't seen any palpable success. We need our people evacuated from the place. And even if it's 10 people or 100 people, you know, and so if you're having challenges, we're not able to do 3,000 or 3,500 at the same time, but we have been able to do 100. That's what we want to hear. Because these lives belong to us. They are people, they are children that we send to school. You know, some have gone there to do business. So what? You know, there's somebody that needs to be told that when you get these type of jobs, it's your duty. Or if you're a permanent staff in these ministries, or you're a diplomat, or you're official, it's not about, what do they do, by the way? What is their daily, activity?
Job description.
Yes. What do they do? These things are emergencies. You should be prepared. Don't you have a military? Don't you have air force? How are other countries doing it? The government house and the airport was blown up, was destroyed. But other countries are removing their citizens from the place. Now, Britain hasn't been able to do a whole lot, but they've
been able to succeed to remove some of their
diplomats.
Yes.
The Italians have done the same thing. What is the big deal? I'm particularly upset because this thing is happening next door to us. You know, and Sudan is not a small place. It's not a small country and all that. What are our diplomats doing? What is the quotidian activity? What do they do on a daily basis when they wake up? You know, what is the provision that is made for this sense? What are you doing?
Earlier you mentioned the African Union, that, you know, Nigeria, Sudan, we all are members of the African Union. And I am looking at, we had this conversation yesterday, and our guest was talking about African solution to addressing this matter. I wonder what kind of a solution you think the African Union can bring to help perhaps move citizens of other African countries out of Sudan as it stands, before we even look at what they can do to resolve the issues there.
I need to apologize to you for even mentioning the African Union. I don't know the relevance of that organization.
Okay.
But I've mentioned it in passing that, you know, it might be fragile, it might be a toothless bulldog or whatever, but if you call the president or the head of that union as it is today, I mean, phone calls and all that, and, you know, and make the effort. And so when you're talking to us, you'll be talking to us about the achievement made. It might be very minute, but you are making, I don't want you to address the press and explaining how that you are making some effort. I want to know and see and hear what you have achieved, no matter how small. Now, I don't think that what is going on, and I don't know at any time that you have found any African solution to what is going on. What is going on does not require an African solution. It's a human problem that you have when people are seeking for what they don't have. In the United States, they are called narcissists, and they are characterized by certain behavior. You know, people seeking for power. How do you find an African solution to a man who is seeking in a country that is known for coups and counter coups? Tell me one country where you have found an African solution to the problem. Is it in Nigeria that you want to give me an example of? No. The people need to recognize what is going on. It's a human nature problem that you have. People are seeking for power. People have ego problems. People are trying to, have control. And when a man is seeking to have control, supremacy, power, there's nothing you can tell him, and he has the money to buy firearms, and there are people who are ready to sell, and he's ready to kill. Don't forget, in Africa, we have a history dating back centuries of killing one another. We used to put fire in hamlets and villages, catch our people, sell them to foreigners, slaves, and all that. So we don't do that anymore now. Oyibo man has developed other methods of killing one another. So forget about African solution to what is going on. They have already destroyed our country as it is today and set themselves backwards, centuries backwards. So let's leave that. The day they are ready to find a solution to agree among themselves, to share power or to hand over power to civilians, there will be another coup. Somebody probably will win this war and all that. But right now, we need to remove our people from that place.
That was the essence of the question, talking about moving the people out.
You need to remove our people. The diplomats and people who are in that place have removed their people. So at the end of the day, they're going to leave them to sort themselves out, to kill each other and all that. Darfur, you're forgetting about Darfur. Was it an African solution that brought an end to it? In fact, that Darfur problem is the cause of this one, because rapid support forces, it's a creation of the former President Bashir, who created that organization to help deal with the Darfur crisis and all that. So it's an African problem. They will find solution to it when they're ready. But we have an immediate and urgent solution. The Americans have shown that, look, let's remove our people. The British people have shown example, let's remove our people. They still have the people stranded in that place, and they are working on it. Let's do our own and leave that place. And learn and hope that we'll learn a lesson. You see all these things, the one that happened, I was born during the war in Nigeria. So don't even, I used to, you see when you see those children running inside the bush, that's how I used to run as a toddler, run inside the bush. When we hear sound though, you just hear sound. And you know, during the war you have rumors that inflate this. They will come and tell us, oh, they are very close. Then you start running. And you're a child. If you're an adult, you're better off. But Draghi, I was a child. About 2-3 years. I was a child. So these ones that are drumming this drum of war in Nigeria, I hope they are watching what is going on in that place, because nobody will even take you. All borders will be locked against us. So we'll sort ourselves out. Let's remove our people from there. A responsible leadership, we do that like other countries are doing.
Well, it's a good thing evacuation will commence today. At least the first batch of Nigerians will be taken off today from the reports that we got. Now, there's a three-day window for that a truce has been, agreed on both sides to lay down their arms for 3 days to allow, the evacuation process. Now, do you see this also as an opportunity to begin to settle the issues? Because this was brokered between by United States and Saudi Arabia in the first place. Do you see this as an opportunity to begin to bring the crisis to an end?
I don't see it. I don't see it. I think that people need to, these people who are doing this need to wait. It is an ego problem. Once you understand it, it's easier for you to deal with. So you just leave them. It's like two people fighting in the street and you're saying,
we should leave them when lives are being lost. What
are you going to do? The people who are going to help them have taken their citizens out of the place. Do you want to go there? I don't. He asked me, and I'm telling you honestly, I do not see, because I've looked at it. What is the cause of this problem? They are asking for a transition to civilian rule, right? And they pretended that they incorporated some civilians into the transitional government. A few months later, another coup took place. Why? Somebody needs to be in control. He doesn't need civilians, so he became the Oga. Do you understand what I'm saying? Somebody is sharing power, or somebody is acting like as your deputy, and suddenly, So this is a big man fight. These are people who want to be in control, to be president or whatever. This transition has been going on for a while. The protest has eventually been killed now. We no longer see those people protesting in the street. In fact, they are not killing them. I am telling you, these Africans will like to kill each other. When they are done and they are tired. I mean, after all, the one in Yemen, after how many years, Saudi Arabia and Iran, they got tired. They've destroyed their place. Now they are talking peace. Prisoners are being released. So that's what we have to wait for. Because when a man is seeking for what he doesn't have, you cannot talk to him. There's nothing you are going to tell him until he gets that thing. That's what the struggle of power is. When a man is desiring for what he doesn't have, that's what you have. When you don't want to transit to civilian rule, and your deputy, who is the head of a paramilitary creation of the former president that was overthrown in 2018 or 2019, wants to become Oga and all that, what do you do? So this fight and this killing is as a result of a disagreement between two individuals who head the transitional government and the RSL. So
you think democracy cannot thrive in that country as a
I don't think so. I don't know what is going to thrive in Sudan. You know why? That's the only country that had the highest number of coups in the whole world. Go and check it out. Yeah. Sudan is the only country on earth where you have had the highest number of coups take place on this earth that we're living in. So civilian, you don't want. Military, you keep changing it. I don't know what they want. I think this is what they want. They want to kill their citizens, then sit down and be looking at each other.